Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Evan here bringing you our NBA trade deadline reactions and just going through everything as the 2025-2026 NBA trade deadline just ended here about an hour ago as of recording. Evan, how are we doing on this Thursday?
Good, Caden. A little shocked, I can't lie. I was expecting, a pretty quiet deadline. We actually got a good amount of moves here.
We did, yeah. A lot more active, and I think just very interesting. A lot more interesting than I thought. We were going to get, I know we kind of mentioned it last NBA pod a week or two ago, actually last week, that we're like, I don't know exactly how much moves are going to be made or if any big names are going to go. We saw some big names move, and also we saw some bad teams be buyers here at the deadline. And it just goes to show how much teams are trying to stay under that second apron, stay under the luxury tax. And it's really constricting lineup construction. I mean, we'll talk about that with some of these trades. Because, first off is one of those moves where the Utah Jazz were buyers here at the deadline, Evan, where they bring in Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies in return for slow-mo Kyle Anderson, Walter Clayton Jr., Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 future first-round picks. Those picks are a 2027 first, which is the most favorable out of Utah, Minnesota, and Cleveland, a 2027 first via the Lakers, and a 2031 first via the Suns, which is unprotected. The Lakers one in 27 is top 4 protected, but, I mean, you have Luke on the team. It should never come to that, but Utah is able to bring in a former DPOY, all-NBA caliber player without really giving up one of their own first-round picks.
Very nice. I mean, very nice. Out of left field, this is probably the most shocking trade.
Out of left field.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of really shocking ones, but this one, there were 0 rumors about Jaren Jackson's. We heard about Ja the entire season, probably last 2 seasons, really, about the trade rumors. Nothing about Jaren Jackson. And with the Jazz, too.
They probably saw the Trae Young deal and were like, I guess we can't move Ja.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm sure we'll talk about the AD stuff, but, these really bottom feeder teams are trying to take that step up, which is cool to see. You know what I mean? It's tough for the Jazz because the Western Conference is so good, and I mean I get it from their side of it. I do like it. It's confusing because they were so bad. It's no, you never see that where a bad team of they've won 15 games this year or something like that.
They're at 16, I think, right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't see that where you trade for that type of player, but. He fits their team if you want to build behind him, Keontae George, and Markkanen, and then they still have Ace Bailey. They have a really good. Honestly,
that's what I was gonna say. Think of this starting lineup for next year, and tell me it's not interesting, Dwyer. You have Keontae at the 1, Ace Bailey, who's been looking better over the last month and a half. You got him at the 2. You move Lowry now to the 3. You got Jaren at the 4. And then you bring back Walker Kessler in free agency after a shoulder surgery. I'd say very intriguing starting 5. And, I mean, I do hope they actually do. This looks a lot better, assuming you bring back Walker Kessler, in my eyes. Because what we've seen is, when Jaren Jackson Jr., he's obviously a good defender. I mean, but he won his DPOY being a roaming defender, not just guarding one guy and just being dominant that way. He was more of the roaming type guy. And you look at it here in his career, with Memphis, he looks much better, when he had a Zach Edey on the court with him. When you have that true center to go with Jaren Jackson, put him at the 4, I think it's really nice. So if you bring back Walker Kessler, who's a good defender, can do, he's fine offensive or whatever, you get him and Jaren down low, Lowry, Keontae, your 2 true, scorers right there as your 1 and 3. Ace Bailey's looking good. And, you didn't give up your 2026 first-round pick. You're still a really bad team, and it's looked like, over the last, month or so, you don't see Lowry Markkanen and Keontae George playing in the same game with each other. It seems like they're trying to make sure they keep a top pick, and now it could get even more interesting. I think I'm going to say the same thing when we get to the Wizards, but imagine you keep losing. Little lottery luck. You have a top 3 pick, and then it's a Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonza, or Cam Boozer sliding into that team with the rest of those players.
Yeah, we were saying last podcast in the NBA, really, it's your ticket out of being a bottom feeder if you're able to get one of those top 3 picks, and seeing these teams jump on that, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. And yeah, do they have any salary cap money? Or are they kind of like?
No, the only people they're paying right now is now obviously Jaren because he's on his max deal and Lowry's on his max deal. Basically, everyone else is on a rookie scale contract.
Yeah.
Keontae's on his rookie deal. Ace Bailey's obviously still on his rookie deal. Like Filipowski off the bench. Yusuf Nurkic is not getting paid much of anything, and he's actually brought 2 triple doubles the other week in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Old ass Yusuf Nurkic.
I mean, yeah, like I'm sure I'll ask you more about between obviously because there's a lot of like similarities between them and the Wizards later, but I do really like what the Jazz are putting together here. And like you said, if they have money to spend out in free agency if need be.
Yep. Which
if they don't get
I mean,
lucky.
it's gonna be tough. No, I mean we've seen it kind of throughout the Jazz history. You're not really. It's okay. How much I was? Yeah, like this was what I heard. I forget who I was saying talk about this, but it's very similar to like what the Raptors have had to do in their franchise history. No free agent is thinking, "Oh, I want to go play in Toronto, or I want to go play in Utah." It's going to require you to either have to pay players, or find them via draft or trade market. And that's what they've done. I mean, you draft Keontae, you trade for Lowry, you draft Walker Kessler, you draft Ace Bailey, and now you trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. You still have cap if necessary. And I mean, I'm going to go probably more into this when we talk about the Wizards because it's even more, I think, ringing true there. But with the new aprons, with the second apron, all these luxury tax that teams are trying to avoid, we're going to have to see a change in who's actually getting max contracts in the NBA.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said too, like no one wants to go there, like especially the superstars, but they already got their stars, you know what I mean? So like if anything, they're just trying to grab those like quality bench pieces or anything if they're going to go into free agency, which should be easier, you'd think.
Yeah, and I think Will Hardy's actually a good coach. We haven't really seen it yet because of the teams he's had, but I think he's a good coach of good offensive mind that could help this team. And yeah, I mean, even more to Memphis' side though, it's good to see that they're actually signaling their rebuild is happening at this point because you had the trio of Desmond Bane, Jaren, and Ja. You thought maybe that could be a thing, and it just never worked in the West. That trio was just not going to get you over the hump. And then this offseason, you go and you get 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane to go to the Magic. And now you bring in another 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson Jr. So the rebuild's here in Memphis, and it's good to see that they're not just trying to cling on to some of the pieces they have and actually are realizing their time is over and that they need to try to take a step in a new direction.
Yeah, and kudos for them to never like giving in to trading Lowry because I mean Lowry to the mark to the Warriors to the like that's been like something talked about for years. Every year, finally,
every year,
they're hanging on.
And now you definitely should keep Lowry. Make the Jazz interesting.
Yeah, that's
make
a
the
big
Jazz
lineup,
interesting
too.
again.
He was good in Cleveland
lineup.
when he was a small forward. Like it'll be good.
Cleveland, Chicago.
He played a little bit of 3, but when he went to Cleveland, that's when he really played 3. Yeah, but
yeah. Now, next move that I think is probably worth talking about is, hey, your Bulls found a way to trade Nikola Vucevic finally.
Yeah.
They had to. It was a Celtics-Bulls trade where Anthony Simons, who'd been coming off the bench for the Celtics this year, he's on an expiring deal. He goes over to Chicago for Nikola Vucevic. Then they do a second-round pick swap. Hey, I mean, the Celtics have been one of the best defensive teams in the league this year. Obviously, Vooch is a terrible, terrible, terrible defender, but Neemias Queta's looked good defensively at center. So now you could have Queta coming off the bench as your backup. Vooch adding some more offense to this lineup for the Celtics. I know he's not maybe as good as he was even just 2 years ago, but he's still a valuable enough center that I think it's a good addition for this Celtics lineup.
Yeah, a quality veteran. You know what I mean? He just played on a bad Bulls team. And I'll talk on the Bulls here, obviously. Been following this team for a while.
And I'll just add on. Also, that same day, they had a 3-team trade with the Pistons and Timberwolves. T-Wolves got cash. Everyone thought that meant they were going to be in the Giannis sweepstakes. Yeah. Bulls bring in Mike Conley and Jaden Ivey. They moved Mike Conley to the Hornets. But the Pistons got Kevin Herter and Dario Saric in a 2026 first-round pick swap with Minnesota. So all around, Bulls. The one thing we were talking about even just last week was, are they going to move like one of their 7 expiring contracts?
Oh.
They moved a good bit of them, and it's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 7 deals they've made so far in this or they're already passed in this like last week. And I'll bring it back to the point of how we were talking about the Grizzlies. So like the Grizzlies traded Jaren Jackson and they traded Bane at the perfect time. They got like what 7 first-round draft picks, and from like the last 3 years, this Bulls core that they've had, they haven't gotten 1 first-round pick back, and it's disappointing because you hold on,
They
for
hold
way too
on
long
for mediocrity to
Yep.
play in the play-in game, and if somehow you win that, get swept in the first round.
Yeah, it's just been the same story over and over. I will say, from what they got at this point, it's not bad. It isn't a bad, but like it's just disappointing because they did this starting with Zach LaVine. You could have traded Zach LaVine for everything. You know, all you got back was your first round pick, really, and it just continued to do it with every single player. You know, it's disappointing. With, I'm sure the Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu, like same kind of thing, but they need to break down full rebuild, and this is it. I mean, again. They should suck the rest of the year. I hope that they don't make the play-in. I don't think they will. They're that bad. They got guards galore. And they got to just hope to get lucky in the lottery. I mean, that's honestly it.
It is. And because like even just Vooch, I mean, 2 years ago you could have got a first-round pick for him. Last year you might have been able to, even if it was a bad first-round pick.
Protected, yeah.
Yeah, like a lottery protected, or even like a least favorable. You probably still could have got that, but I mean, I think if I remember right, last year they were asking for 2 firsts for Vooch, which you were never gonna get.
No,
but
it's trying to like cut their losses from what when they trade for him. It's like, dude, you're not gonna get that. He's not worth that.
But like you said, it's good to see the Bulls finally going towards
a direction.
Actually, a direction, not just straight mediocrity.
Yep.
And then, Dwyer, we saw this late. We saw these discussions happen late Monday night, and then ended up being finalized on Tuesday, where James Harden goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Clippers get Darius Garland and a 2026 second-round pick. Basically, a 1-for-1 all-star point guard swap.
Yeah, this is in like completely different stages of their career. What was it, like
decade
like
of age
10
difference.
Years? Crazy.
Darius Garland, DG the PG is 26. James Harden's 36.
Yeah. You know, I've been thinking about it. I will say I like it for the Clippers. Our Clippers are taking like that's a young guard to build around. I think at 26, like that's something. Cavs, it's interesting. It is because like on paper,
it closes their
risky.
window.
It closes for sure.
Not like yeah. I mean, I made it closes or it shortens. I guess is the word I'm looking for.
But it's almost needed just because like it's funny because like the Cavs have kind of been like known as that team that kind of chokes in the playoffs. So they're like they're like the Milwaukee Brewers of the
That's
NBA.
A great
almost.
Analogy.
Yeah, you know, they just kill it.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah. And they go in and get the guy who's like notorious for choking in the playoffs. But
That's funny.
Yeah, I think it is a little overrated. Like, because I mean, you gotta kind of like look at the circumstances too. I mean, he doesn't have to be the number one.
But also
guy
look
here.
at his playoff stats.
True, that is true. But like, he's also not gonna have to do what he has to do on the Clippers now. You know, with having Donovan Mitchell. It'll be interesting how that backcourt kind of plays out. You know, I mean, I don't know, him and Don playing together. I mean, it sounds like they're like excited to try, which I think obviously they would have to be. You know, they wouldn't be like mad about it. I mean, I like it because the East is really wide open. So I like them getting aggressive here because, like, again, like, it's nice making the playoffs, but like, let's try and make some damage in the playoffs. And I know James Harden's older and all that, but like, it'll be interesting if they go out and re-sign him. I mean, honestly, it kind of depends on their run, really. I mean, to see if they kind of do that.
Like, this is the thing. I mean, I agree. This is the thing I was gonna like with the Cavs. I mean, this was the year everyone's like, this is the year you decide if that core four with Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, and Jared Allen is actually going to work. Because, what was that, 3 years ago, you have the Lights Too Bright series with Jared Allen, and then when they lose in the first round. Next year, you lose in the second round. Last year, you blow through the regular season, and then you lose 4-1 to the Pacers in the second round. So this year was really signaling, like, if you don't at least make a conference championship, more likely the finals, with how wide open the East was this year, something was going to have to change. And Darius Garland last year in the postseason, barely played because of his toe injury or missed a lot of it. This year, it started hurt, and now his toe's injured again. It's on the other foot. He's just been injured. James Harden, even though he is 36, is still a very reliable, healthy guy who's going to go out there and play. He's giving you 25 points a night right now for the Clippers. And while I do think that will go down
inflated, yeah,
with the Cavs, I do expect him, I don't know if this is a bold take or not, but for the rest of the season, I expect James Harden to average double-digit assists a night in this new lineup where he's not going to be as relied on to score. You find Donovan Mitchell, you find Sam Merrill, Mobley or Allen down low. They got still good offensive players. I think Harden, without having to have as much of the scoring load on him, you'll see that. He's still obviously a great passer. But I do think it'll go up a bit. We do see, double-digit assists for the rest of the season average for Harden.
Yeah. I think you hit on the head, too, with Garland. I don't think they make this deal unless they really don't trust his health. I don't think they that toe injury must be worse than they think, just because
he doesn't have a timetable for his return right now.
Yeah, so it's they must really not trust that foot and just overall, his health. So
he hasn't been healthy in the playoffs when they've needed him most. He's not been there. Ty Jerome filled in fine last year. It got him paid over in Memphis, but
it's not going to be a full time.
When your two-time All-Star point guard is never on the court in the playoffs when you need him the most, it's a reason you're trading him.
Yeah, for an expiring contract too.
Yeah. And now it fully, even though it had been over for a couple of years, it fully marks the end of Sexland over there in Cleveland. The Colin Sexton, Darius Garland duo from where they were drafted.
Yeah.
Good old Sexland.
Forgot about it. I was like, wait, Colin Sexton hasn't been on the team in a while, but yes. Yep.
But but now I said officially because now obviously Garland's
you're right.
gone.
The ton's gone. The ton.
Yeah.
Or land.
Yeah.
The land.
The land.
The land.
Yep, the land. Yeah, I do. It does. The Cavs, they've been weird this year. This does help them. And with how wide open the East is, I think they're right back up there with the Pistons and the Knicks. Just going to be interesting to see how Harden plays come playoff time.
See how him and LeBron look next year in Cleveland, huh?
Hey, I saw those reports too.
Yeah, never know.
They're going to try to lure him to Cleveland next year.
I don't think he'll be a Laker. I think it's either retirement or probably that.
I know this has nothing to do with the episode. It's the trade deadline episode, but All-Star reserves were announced last weekend. We talk about it with baseball. Obviously, the Pro Bowl's a joke.
Oh, my God.
LeBron's just not an all-star. How do you leave off, Kawhi Leonard and Alperen Şengün both should have been all-stars in the West over LeBron. The only reason Kawhi got at it was because they needed another U.S. player.
That's crazy. I saw that.
It's I know it's LeBron, and people like their dumbass legacy. I don't know. I'm just so done with the All-Star game, Dwyer. I hate it so much now. It means absolutely nothing nowadays.
In all sports, you're right.
In all sports. The only thing that matters is All-NBA, All-Pro, and baseball kind of with their All-MLB team they've started the last couple of years.
And it's stupid because baseball actually, the winner of the game decides, who gets home field advantage.
Not anymore, but...
They don't do that? Okay, all right. I
think that ended in COVID, I think.
That was insane that it was around that long.
Oh, it's insane that would even happen, yeah. But now it's really, we talked about over the summer Mizorowski. Obviously, when you have Shedeur Sanders and Joe Flacco in the Pro Bowl.
And Burrow, all three of them as Burrow, together playing flag football.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
And now with the NBA, LeBron's not an all-star. We see it every year. It's gotten better, I'd say, in the NBA, where it's not just the most popular players are voted in as the starters every year. But even still,
Nah, it's all NBA. That's the only thing that really matters.
It's the only thing that matters. Adding the third team helps out with people like LeBron. Because I remember seeing the thing, like, this is a completely off trade deadline tangent, but like, it's like LeBron has made an all NBA team basically every year of his career. Then you look at it, it's like, oh, he snuck in a couple all NBA third teams in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, no. Now though, we will get to the next massive trade, the one where we're gonna need to talk about these max contracts, because Anthony Davis is a wizard. Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, because him and AD go everywhere together apparently, and Dante Exum are now a Washington Wizard, and the Mavericks getting a return Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, who it seems like gets flipped at every deadline nowadays.
Yeah.
Malachi Branham, who got moved earlier today, and then Marvin Bagley III, and then a 2026 first-round pick from the Thunder, so that'll be anywhere from 25 to 30. A 2030 first-round pick from Golden State, which is top 20 protected. So who even knows if they'll even get that pick?
Get that, yeah.
Depending on Curry, obviously, if he's still there or not. A 2026 second, 2027 second, and a 2029 second. So once again, a all-NBA caliber player is getting traded for 0 of the bottom feeder team's own first-round picks. The Wizards gave up none of their own picks. They gave up a terrible one in this year's draft and a top 20 protected Warriors one in 2030.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you hit on the head there, Caden. Like,
and no good players. And no good
weird.
players.
Yeah, I mean, all NBA for nothing. I mean, yeah, Anthony Davis, he's always hurt. You know what I mean? Like, but like, still, he's looked great when he's played. I know it's just limited in minutes, and I forgot about Trae Young going there. Like, it's kind of been like they're secretly kind of like they're like it's like a dynasty league, and they're trying to like restock for next year. Honestly, it's gonna be easier in the East, like we said, it's wide open.
Don't get me started, Dwyer, because I know we were talking about the Jazz lineup, but the Wizards are even worse than the Jazz right now. And Trae Young, rest. I forget what his injury is. Rest your injury the rest of the season. You don't need to play anymore. AD, I know you said you didn't want to get that surgery on your thumb. Just go get that surgery.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Because next year, you get a top 3 pick. Oh, no, look, it's Trae Young, Keyshawn George, a Boozer DeBonza Peterson, and then Alex Sarr, who's been looking a lot better and a very good defender, and then Anthony Davis. And then you still have Trey Johnson, who I think was – I'm kind of surprised. I mean, turns out it didn't take a lot of anything good to get Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
But if I was the Mavs, I would have wanted Trey Johnson, a 20-year-old rookie out of Texas. I think he might still be even 19, who's been looking like an actual bucket. Like, the Wizards are retooling, and like you said, in a really weak East, I think at minimum, the Wizards will be a play-in team next year. At minimum.
I like that. I mean, but a lot of it also depends on the health of those two stars.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Because obviously without them, we see how bad they are.
Oh, for sure. But this is also going to be the first meaningful basketball probably any of them have played in their professional career, or most of them have played.
Well, you were talking about it last podcast. Like, the average age of the lineup was like 19 or 20 or something like that.
20 and a half years old, and we were going through a bunch of 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. Dude, their team's so young, and just like the Jazz, a lot of rookie-scale contracts. The only people we'll see how much they extend Trae Young for. AD has a couple more years until he has, I think, 2 more seasons until has to be extended. He can be extended following this season.
Yeah.
But this just goes back to what I was going to say with the Jazz. Rings true here. Even someone at the level of play that Anthony Davis is, because of his injury concerns, you can't be paying him these super max contracts anymore with the addition of the second apron and all these harsher penalties to being in the luxury tax. Because if you're not a top 10-ish player in the world now, it seems like you probably shouldn't be getting that 50 M's a year, because it's going to hamper the overall team that much more now.
Yeah, so they either got to raise, they got to do something. They either got to raise that bar, or they got to lower. But the contracts will never be lower. You know, the players' union will never go for it. So if anything, they're gonna have to raise that. But let me ask you, who's in a better position? What do you think? Would you say the Jazz or the Wizards?
Ooh. That's interesting because, I mean, you know me, Dwyer. I love Keontae George.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Lowry's a dog. I like Will Hardy. But the West is so much tougher.
yeah.
That's tough. I think I still will go the Jazz because I think Keontae can make even a more, like, even get better than what he's shown this year. I think Lowry's a dog. Jaren's a really good defender. Ace Bailey's looking better. If you bring back Walker Kessler, get a top 5 pick, like, that team's looking really nice. I like Will Hardy, like I said, as a coach. And just the Wizards, like, it's something you said that just does ring true. Trae Young and Anthony Davis are hurt a lot. And we've said this before about Trae Young. He's one of the worst defenders, obviously, in the league. I mean, when you're 6 foot, 175 soaking wet, or I don't even know if he's 175, you're already not going to be a good defender. And I don't know what the fit's going to look like there. It's going to be interesting. I still like it for the Wizards, obviously. I like that after this is, I think, going to be their 8th straight year of a below 500 record. So it's signaling you're trying to, turn the tides, right this ship, get back to, some of the John Wall, Bradley Beal days where you're at least making the playoffs.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I think the Jazz are overall are a better team as of now with their additions, but the Wizards, they could be they could be a very sneaky team.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think everything you said there is true. I think the overall, they just have better players, I think, than the Wizards right now. But like you said, I think it's with the conferences, it really sucks. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but like, I think like if you're talking like who's close to an NBA championship, it would definitely be the Jazz, in my opinion. Like, if you had to bet between one of the others, but the draft's going to be a big.
The draft's going to be big, depending on where these guys end up in the lottery. I'd assume both teams keep trying to lose.
Oh yeah.
Make sure they get the best chance to get a top 3 pick, get one of those guys, and just really set yourself up.
Yeah. I will say, though, too, the Mavericks, although it is kind of crazy AD is a salary dump for as, like, high pedigree he is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's all, like, awful for the Mavs just because they're going to have, like, the most free agent space in the league. So, like, they're going to have basically Cooper Flag, and I would assume they keep Kyrie.
Looking incredible.
Awesome. So, like, you want to talk about a destination, who wants to go? A lot of people, I think, are going to go watch them play in Dallas with Cooper Flag. So, I don't think that they're screwed by any means. So, overall, like, the deal doesn't look great, but, like, I don't think it's as bad as people, like, I don't think it's awful.
Yeah.
So, I like
it's not
those
awful,
positions.
no, for sure. Next one we have to talk about, it is a smaller move, but I hate the Sixers for it. They just gave the Thunder Jared McCain for Houston's first-round pick of this year, which will be anywhere from 20 to 30, and then a 27 second and 28 seconds.
Yeah.
I know Jared McCain's looked bad this year. I know.
It's coming off injury, right?
That's what I was gonna say. I know. I think a lot of us still look at what we saw that first month and a half, 2 months of the season last year, where it looked like he was gonna run away with Rookie of the Year, where he was giving you 30 balls, 20 balls, just night after night. And yeah, it's not been as great this year. The efficiency's down. But he's also coming back from injury. I think, obviously, you get him in a Thunder organization, which is incredible. You're not expecting much out of him. He can come off the bench, especially with Shea being out for a little bit of time now. He can get a little bit, I think, more of an extended run and be a very good fit for the Thunder, which I just hate to say.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting? I did see the contract too. He's there for the next 3 years on super cheap.
Yeah, he's
so
on
it makes sense for
it's his
Thunder.
rookie deal.
Yeah. The only problem is, though, you said with the run he's going to get is how much opportunity is he really going to get to thrive? Because the 76ers, it was kind of a packed guard room anyways. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys there. Where I don't think he's gonna get more minutes with the Thunder, at least not this year. I mean, okay, yeah, it's gonna take guys like Shea getting hurt, and we'll see. But yeah, it's just gonna be hard. I just don't see him getting a ton of minutes with this team. They're just that loaded. You know,
They're that loaded, but I just think on top of that, you get an extra piece like McCain to come off the bench for you, who,
True.
if needed, could give you 10, 12 a night if you give him 20. Like if you give him like 18 minutes, I don't think he's like you said. I don't think he's going to get that much minutes, but at least over these next probably couple weeks, at least before the All-Star break, or this next week or so, we should see him get some run. It's going to be interesting.
They kept all their first round picks too.
It's a good move for the Thunder.
I mean, in the Thunder, dude, like the Clippers got way worse. You know, so that pick's just gonna start falling and falling, and it's gonna get higher and higher for them too. They get to keep that pick. It's insane.
Yeah. Next move we got is your Bulls again. They actually traded Kobe White. He's a Charlotte Hornet with Mike Conley, who they're gonna waive, I believe, the Hornets, and a 2029 second in return for Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dieng from the Thunder, a 2029 second, a 2031, well, two to 2031 seconds, and then the Thunder got Mason Plumlee and just waived him.
Yeah, Kobe White. I thought he would have went for more, man. I really did.
They waited too long.
He's
just
still
like
young.
every other player.
But still, it's crazy, man.
He's
'Cause,
expiring, though. He's expiring.
They ended up trading Deng for like Nick Richards. So it's really Nick Richards, Colin Sexton, 3 seconds, which is like, I don't know. I feel like second round picks are kind of useless. I mean, like they're not useless, but man, you really gotta hit them. You know, it's just. I feel like out of any sports, the second round picks in the NBA are the hardest to hit the nail.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a shame they didn't really even a lottery protected first. Like no one was willing to do that for Kobe White. But like you said, they waited too long. I don't know if Colin Sexton's a guy they want to bring back next year. I'd for surely Jaden Ivey. I think that one's for sure. I think he fits their bill at 20. He's 23. I think they'll end up paying him. So that one makes sense. And I heard like someone use like the word pre-agency. It's like trading for the guys you want to go try and lock up, which makes sense. It makes sense, especially with the Bulls. Like, yes, they're a high market team; they could pay you, but it's like it's kind of a bad franchise to go to just because it's like they're always mediocre. So I don't know. That one was kind of weird to me. Hornets though, looking like a play-in team, Caden. Like I'm looking at the standings right now. They're a game out of. They're pretty much right there with the Bulls. Obviously, the Bulls are going to try and fall and lose. I like it for them. I really do. I think the Hornets. I mean, he's going to pretty. Do you think he comes off the bench for them?
I'd assume so because you're not pulling Brandon Miller out of year 2.
So he's going to be basically just the better version of Colin Sexton.
Exactly. He's going to take the Colin Sexton role off the bench and be a better scorer.
Yeah. So I like it for him.
Yeah, I know we talked a lot of Hornets last week, but yeah, they're doing
Go Hornets,
some things.
baby.
They're doing some things down there in Charlotte. Now, let's see. The next one that's interesting. Oh, actually, let's see. Yeah, this one happened last night as of recording. Jonathan Kuminga finally got traded off the Warriors after years and years of it seeming like it might happen. Him and Buddy Hield go to Atlanta in return for Kristaps Porzingis, who's only played 17 games this season.
Is he still hurt too? Does he have a timeline?
No, I think he. I could have sworn I saw him play the other night for the Hawks.
He's one of those ones you never know. Yeah, for like what? Like he was supposed to be like the headliner guy to go get Giannis, and it's like, oh nope, or whoever the star Lowry market, and they just end up being Kristaps, which. I mean,
it helps the Warriors. It helps
the Warriors are so screwed. They are screwed. I mean, losing Jimmy Butler, you're so screwed. Even before Jimmy Butler, it wasn't like they're like a top team in the West. Not even close. So it's like, I get them trying to recoup, and like at least you get rid of, him, Kuminga. You've been trying to trade him forever, like you said. Hawks wise, I mean, who knows? Maybe he likes Atlanta. I mean, we've seen glimpses of him being pretty freaking good. So
and you get technically one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. In Buddy Hield.
True. That is true. So, yeah, I mean, where are they in the standing? Oh, they're 9th? You never know. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a whatever deal in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, but with it happening, good for the Warriors. I mean, you needed to do something, especially after Jimmy got hurt. Kristaps is not a bad piece. You get off Kuminga and Buddy Hield, who's been, even though I said he's technically one of the best 3-point shooters of all time, he's been really bad this year.
Yeah.
We'll see if the change of scenery helps, but yeah. Now the next one. This one's interesting. Ayo DeSumo to the Minnesota Timberwolves in return for Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, 2026 second, 2027 second, 2031 second, 2032 second. So AO, it's really AO for Rob Dillingham in 4 seconds. And I know
Yeah.
people and NBA heads still are holding out a lot of hope in Rob Dillingham as a player.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is just him not getting a lot of run in Minnesota or something. I don't really know what to think of him as a player as of right now. Obviously, with Chicago, we should see him get a lot of run the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And really see. So, but if he could be something like people thought coming out the draft, it could be a very nice move for the Bulls.
Yeah, yeah. You know what they're trying to do? They're kind of like they're trying to do what they did with Josh Giddey, like the same kind of idea. Like, oh, he's not getting the run or whatever with the Thunder, so it's like, and we saw him turn into. Was he an All-Star?
Giddy? I don't think so.
He's close, but even if
He was close.
really
yeah.
good year, really good year. So I get.
Oh,
I
this
kinda
year he
see
was
that idea what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this has definitely been a career year for him. So I get their, like, what's in their eyes. Again, Dosunmu, I was kind of shocked that he went for more. I mean, he's had the best year of his career. He's looked really good right now.
He is.
Good move for the
Think Kobe
Timberwolves.
White? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
surprised he went for more than Kobe?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like it for the Timberwolves too. I think it's a good move for him. A really good bench piece. It'll be interesting how it fits. But like you said, with the Bulls, it's kind of like you kind of got to just try and test and find out and hope and pray. Honestly, some of these guys end up working out.
Yeah, so I'll just ask you this as a kind of Bulls fan,
I'm a Bulls
even
fan.
though you.
I'm a Bulls fan.
How would you grade their deadline with them actually doing stuff?
I mean, for where it is right now, not taking aside like what they should have done years ago, I think it's probably the fact that you picked a direction is probably like a B plus to A minus. I think it's almost automatic. Return, I'd probably put like about a B to A minus maybe, just because I mean.
Yeah.
You need to pick a direction. You can't just keep doing this. It's the stupidest thing ever. You just like it's
Fighting for a playing
there's
spot
so many
every year.
teams, every single sport has them. They just like, all right, let's just try and make the playoffs. That's our only goal. Like it's just so dumb.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm glad to see it. Even if they suck again, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a couple other smaller moves, but last one we are going to talk about today. I don't know if this is more surprising than the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, but Avicii Zubac is an Indiana Pacer.
Yeah.
We saw, it seemed like throughout this entire deadline time, that the Clippers were saying they were not going to trade Zubac. He was going to stay with the team. And then you trade Harden, and now Zubac and Kobe Brown go to Indiana for Ben Mathurin, who's on an expiring deal, Isaiah Jackson, 2026 first-round pick, which is protected 1 through 4 and 10 through 30.
Yeah.
So it has to be a 5 through 9 pick.
Yeah.
I
I've never
guess.
seen double protection like that. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
And then a 2029 first and a 2029 second.
Yeah. Strange. And we're saying they're gonna try and load up here. I mean, the good news with the West is they kind of no one else is going to be competing. Okay, that pretty much locks me in that the Trailblazers will be making the playoffs no matter what, pretty much.
And that just also, like you mentioned earlier, means the Thunder's chances of getting a really good pick just got so much better.
Yeah.
When you're looking, you lost 2 of your 3 best players.
It doesn't make sense because that doesn't seem like a package where I'm oh my god, a crazy overpay.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I like it for the Pacers, because it made sense that you weren't going to give Miles Turner $25 a year in the offseason. But the one thing you did know was you need a true center. Jay Huff's looked good this year, but you don't want him as your number 1 big when Tyrese Halliburton comes back this year. And now you get an all-NBA caliber center in Avicii Zubac, who already had one of the best pick-and-roll games with James Harden. Now you get someone who's just as good, if not even better of a passer in Tyrese Halliburton to run that pick-and-roll with. That's going to be a nasty duo for the Pacers next year. And, the Clippers, Ben Mathurin, I think, is a good player. If you're able to extend him this offseason, I think him and Darius Garland could be an interesting backcourt duo for sure.
No, for sure. And again, we could keep harping on with the draft. Like, if they get a top 5 pick with those,
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean, you
they're
still
bad,
got
too.
Siakam. We didn't even say Pascal Siakam
Yeah, he's
too.
not Pascal.
And like that's gonna be a really good team.
And Nemhard. And Nemhard has
Yeah.
been playing good this year. Aaron Nesmith. Like, they're still
Yeah.
a good roster.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, they've just been missing their best player. And a center, like a true center, which they just got. So I think it's a really good, like, reload, retool kind of year for them. Great move. Strange out of the Clippers. Very strange. Doesn't really make sense.
Right.
It's like, what? Like,
No.
okay, why they couldn't move Kawhi? Like, what's the point of keeping Leonard, though? You know?
Exactly.
No one could hold him for money-wise. That's the whole max thing, like you're talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. You would have had to try to even out the money to make it work. And it's hard to even out $50 million a year with a competing team because most likely they already have a bunch of
Yep.
high contracts because they are competing for an NBA championship.
Definitely right. It's a problem. It is a problem.
But yeah, the Clippers, I mean, just last week, Dwyer. Just last week. We're talking about how they're 16-3 or whatever in their last 19 games. They were 17-4 before in their last 21 games before the James Harden trade. And now it's going to go right back to what we were talking about at the start of the season with this team being bad.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think they understood how screwed they were. They're like, honestly, from the Clippers standpoint, I don't think it's not an awful deadline. Just because I think I think they are realists. So like, all right, even if we do make the playoffs and go on a Cinderella run, are we really going to beat the Thunder? Are we really going to beat the Spurs, Nuggets, any of these teams? I think they just realize like they're probably not going to beat it with the team that they have this year. So honestly, I do respect it. Because like you said, like Garland's a legitimate piece. Mathurin could be a legitimate piece if it works out. Like,
Yep.
you dug yourself into a deep hole. I get them trying to get out of it. Smart move,
For
honestly.
sure. It is a smart move. Zubac is a good center. Really like that move for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Because it
sure.
looked like they probably weren't bringing back Mathurin in the offseason.
No.
They could have extended him before the season. They didn't. Wanted to see it play out. And it just looked like his time was up in Indiana. And you get that real center, pair up, reload next year with Tyrese. Should have a top 10 pick this year. It's going to be interesting for them to run it back next year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. Like you never see these are all the teams you never see go like be active at the deadline, and it's like all of them. I mean, between the Jazz, Wizards, Bulls, like you never see them making moves like
No.
that. And
No.
this is the deadline. Whenever it's dead, expect the crazy to happen. And
Expect
no
it 'cause,
Giannis too. No Giannis.
yeah, I mean,
Crazy.
in my eyes, it always seemed that way.
Yeah. Off season though.
But
I guess if they
who
land a
knows
top
at this
pick, if they land a top pick, you never know. You might want to stay then.
Because I mean, the thing with Giannis is like the one thing, the one thing I'll give James Harden credit for is even though he hasn't publicly said he demanded a trade out of the Clippers, when he knows his time is out in an organization, he gets out. He's like, trade me. Giannis, the last 2.5 years, has been doing that 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing where it's like, yeah, I'm open to being moved, but I love Milwaukee, and if you guys want to compete still, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate what he's done. I mean, I don't think it's been 2.5 years where it's been like. I think this has been the year that's like, oh, totally. This is seems like
I mean, for sure.
Looks
But
like
it
he's
seems like
more
he had
likely
some
than not to
last
get
year
traded.
too, but
I mean, now, especially in the offseason, I mean, I think it's smart waiting just because it sounds like there's going to be more available in the offseason.
Yep.
It's going to be easy to trade them. And, like, yeah, Giannis is one of the best players. We were talking about before the season. He's one of the best players in the
he
world.
was your MVP pick.
He's my MVP pick. You know what I mean? Top 5 player in the NBA. Pretty consensus right there.
I think easily.
So you could build a winning roster with that team. It's just it's gonna. I mean, they're gonna have to get crazy lucky in the lottery. I think if they don't get a top pick in that lottery, it's gonna be tough for them to try and like convince Giannis like, all right, we can make a contender. Because if they can do that, they get a top 5 pick, and then they could probably go out. They probably have some money to go spend still. I'd imagine. They could do that because if not, I don't see them.
Wait, they don't have their pick this year. We were just talking about that. They don't have their pick this year.
I think they could have. It might be protected.
I'm pretty sure I thought. Is it? I don't know. Hold on. Milwaukee Bucks 2026 draft picks. Oh, this year they hold their own. It must be 27.
Yeah, all the
was-
Lillard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, they have their own. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Well,
that's,
unless somehow that's right, unless somehow they finish worse than the Pelicans,
yeah. Yeah.
because then that pick would go to Atlanta for that.
Really? Wait, it's record wise?
Yeah, because of the Derek Queen trade on draft
Oh
night.
yeah.
It was the least favorable of Milwaukee or New Orleans.
Dang it. They just made out do, man. The Hawks got that was maybe one of the best trades
Such
ever.
a great trade.
Yeah.
It's been a fun deadline. A lot, like
Yeah.
we said at the start, a lot more active than I think both you and me thought it was going to end up being. A lot of very intriguing moves. We'll obviously see how these play out. Bottom feeders buy-in, you never see that.
Yeah.
So it was a fun deadline for sure.
Outside really the hard one. All of them are all kind of like geared towards next year, not the rest of the year, so yeah.
For sure.
We'll see it.
You got anything else, Dwyer, before we do depart today?
That's it for me, man.
Well, thank you guys all for watching today's episode of the Untouchaballs podcast. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below if you have not already. Leave a like on the video and comment down below who do you guys think was the best move of this year's trade deadline. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of the Untouchaballs podcast, and share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.